Zilliqa is starting to do pretty good in my opinion. And ZIL, its native token, now going to the price of $1, I don't think seems that crazy anymore, right? At least to many people out there. Now for me, ZIL reaching the price of $1, that has always been on my mind. I haven't changed that because I still believe in it. I've been believing in Zilliqa ever since the beginning of 2023. But you know what? Hypothetically, I can't say I told you so, but maybe I told you so because, again, ZIL has done pretty well despite a lot of people saying it was caca for the longest time possible. But again, $1 now doesn't seem that crazy because it is only around a 28x from here at this point, which doesn't seem that insane, again, even though that's not financial advice. But here's the thing. Usually we see exponential growth sometimes when it comes to a lot of cryptocurrencies out there. Like, for instance, you take a look at Cardano's native token called ADA. At one point, it was hovering around the price of 3 cents. Reaching the price of $1 seemed very difficult, but then reaching $2 from then seemed very easy and even beyond as well. When you take a look at something like ZIL, as it reaches, let's say, 10 cents, at that point, people are going to be like, whoa, okay, 20 cents is only 2x from here. And suddenly, they're like, whoa, 50 cents not that far off. Now, when it reaches 50 cents, at that point, $1 is just a 2x away. So if you think about it, $1 doesn't seem that insane. At least that's the way I view it. Even if you take a look at Charles Hoskinson, who is not only the co-founder of Ethereum, but the founder of Cardano, he predicted that based on a video on November 26th, anywhere from a year to 2 years from then, right, he could very well see Bitcoin reaching the price of either $250,000 all the way up to $500,000. I mean, if let's say Bitcoin even reaches his worst case scenario target, 250,000, could you imagine ZIL at that point? At the price of $1, I really don't see why not at that point. Even at that point, maybe even over $1. Only time will tell. Still, even as the old saying goes, a high tide raises all ships. So as Bitcoin does well, as the sentiment for altcoins changes, man, ZIL, again, I don't see why it wouldn't reach great heights. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes people like to say that, oh yeah, it's cool, but then the fundamentals for Zilliqa are complete trash. But that's not true, because here's the thing. Allegedly, Zilliqa is the world's first ever sharding-based blockchain. Now, you may be thinking, okay, this sounds kind of like Kaka, and I'm actually not referring to sharding with a T. That's actually Kaka in the pants. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about sharding here, the real deal. Now, through sharding, the network is split into multiple sections known as shards, and workload on the network is distributed amongst these different shards. Now, as a result of this, what happens to Zilliqa? Becomes very scalable, very fast, in my opinion, and just generally very amazing overall. So now, here's where things get a little bit more cooking, because if you actually take a look at Zilliqa, there is something called Zilliqa 2.0, which, in my opinion, could be so huge for the future of Zilliqa. For instance, right, through Zilliqa 2.0, it is EVM compatible, which means that it's Ethereum virtual machine compatible. And why is this amazing? Because Ethereum, despite its flaws like the high gas fees and scalability issues, this right here is fantastic because Ethereum does have a very big ecosystem. There's a lot of fans, there's a lot of hype, the community is fantastic. Even though I wouldn't acquire Ethereum myself, as an investment, I do still think this is good news for Zilliqa. Not to mention as well, you take a look at the state of the network. Again, I'm referring to Zilliqa 2.0. Is divided into interconnected application-specific shards called X shards, which can be customized to suit the needs of the apps built on them. Now, this is a bunch of jargon. That's the way I take a look at it. But just overall, the way I take a look at it, if I'm to put a summary on that, it's just awesome. And that's simply put, Zilliqa 2.0, I think, is the natural evolution of how amazing Zilliqa could be. Now, if let's say Zilliqa never even talked about Zilliqa 2.0, would I still be bullish on Zilliqa anyways? Of course, because I was bullish on Zilliqa before. It's not like it really needed to do that anyways. I mean, it was already good before, right? But in my opinion, this is how amazing Zilliqa is. This is the forward-thinking mindset that the leadership has, because they understand that, there's going to be more blockchains that are going to pop up, more networks. So they are preemptively, right? They are anticipating quite essentially that there's going to be probably better ones in the future, or should I say good ones? And then they're like, okay, we got to be better than them. This is the amazing mindset that they have. This is like Elon Musk making electric cars years ago. He's like, okay, the direction moving forward is going to be electric cars. He felt like, I think maybe that's why he went all in on electric cars. Nowadays, a lot of car companies, they want to go all electric, So when I take a look at this, the way I view it is that Zilliqa is pretty much like the Tesla of projects, because they didn't really need to improve. Elon Musk could have very easily, back then, just made combustible engine cars and be like, yeah, electric cars, nah, that's a no bueno. But then he didn't do that. He stuck with that. Zilliqa, again, they didn't have to announce even anything regarding Zilliqa 2.0. Like they didn't even have to even, have that in the first place, but then they still thought about it anyways. This is the genius of them, and I really do like that. Now, I'm not saying Zilliqa is going to be as big as Tesla, of course not, but I'm just saying like in terms of the mindset, that's just the way I view it. Now, also, if you take a look at Zilliqa 2.0, the root mainnet shard will now feature average block times of as low as 2 seconds. So that's insane as of right there. This is basically like, a total makeover of Zilliqa. That's the way to take a look at it. Not really like a makeover in a sense they're destroying the fundamentals, but like they're just like improving it in such an amazing way. And I do really love that. Now, here's the thing as well. On Zilliqa, there's a lot of projects, right? There's over 100 projects on Zilliqa, which I think is a true testament to just how special they really are, because that's no easy task. Like many of its competitors, they can't get like even 10. So this right here is fantastic. Not to mention as well, on its ecosystem, there are projects, in areas like DeFi, aka decentralized finance, NFTs, gaming. So, I think that once these markets do pick up again in a massive way, I think Zilliqa could go along with the ride as well. Now, Zilliqa reaching the price of $1 really isn't all that insane anyways, because if it were to go to that price, considering current circulating supply, market cap would be around $19 billion. That's so insanely low in my opinion, especially for something this good. Hypothetically, take a look at Dogecoin reaching around, or should I say over 80 billion. You take a look at Shiba, reaching around 40 billion. This is like peanuts, really. I'm not even saying it's going to go to half of like SHIB. No, this is barely half of that, right? Let alone like half a Doge. And still even despite that, it's already around, again, a 28x from here. So that's kind of crazy. I mean, this is how amazing Zilliqa is in terms of its hypothetical room for growth, at least its native token called ZIL. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes people like to say that, oh yeah, here's the thing. Mass adoption for Zilliqa is not going to happen in the next 6 months to a year. Well, of course not. Now, of course, this may shock some people, but in my opinion, it's not going to happen. But it doesn't really matter because during a fully fledged bull run, people don't really care. At least that's the way to take a look at it. If people cared so much about like adoption or like, what it could be. Now, I'm not saying that adoption isn't necessary or hashtag super necessary, Jorge Masvidal style. I'm not saying that. In the next like 10 years, of course, it's very important. But like in the next 6 months to a year, people just don't really care. They care about hypothetical upside. And Zilliqa's native token called ZIL, I think it has the potential to do that because exposure is great, listed in a bunch of major exchanges, community is amazing, and fundamentals very plus. We've seen this recipe, or should I say this trifecta, right, work so well time and time again. We saw, Solana, right? Good fundamentals, or should I say okay fundamentals, because I think Zilliqa is better. But even besides that, you take a look at strong community, good exposure, went up, in an amazing way. We're seeing that happen as of right now with Algorand, also Ethereum. So the way I take a look at it, I don't know why ZIL won't do the same. If Luna Classic can pump and find a bottom, if something Kaka like Litecoin can even pump, I don't know why ZIL would do bad. Not to mention, why do I think Zilliqa is better than Solana? Solana, you take a look at, it's arguably, not that reliable, right? At one point, experienced 8 different network outages in just a time span of a year. That's a no bueno, man. You just don't see that type of nonsense with Zilliqa. I'm not saying like 8 in like 5 years. I'm saying like 8 allegedly in a year. That's so bad. In my opinion, Zilliqa is just way better. And again, at the price of $1, that really wouldn't surprise me whatsoever during this bull run because I think it's that amazing. And I think this bull run has the hypothetical potential to be that fantastic. And I really can't wait. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. I greatly appreciate it. It's been Lee the Captain. And I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.